My name is Richard Devlin. I am your junior vice commander at department level. My main areas are districts 1 and districts 8, but I'm there for everybody. It don't matter what district you're in. If you're having an issue or that you can't get through to somebody, please feel free to contact me, and I will do whatever I can. If I can't do anything, I have enough phone numbers where I can make sure that you'll get the help that you need. Flip. Page 2, what is community service? And you'll see a whole bunch of people out there, little figurines there. I thought it was a look, where's Waldo, but it's not.
I can't find him anyway.
I was looking for you in there, Chip, but I couldn't find you in there either. All right, we're going to go to page 3. What sets community service apart from volunteering? So community service is a distinct form of volunteering. It is not always performed on a voluntary basis. It may be mandated by the courts, a requirement for citizenship, requirements of a school for a class advancement, a requirement for higher education, graduation, or it could be an option as part of one's employment. You can flip that to the next page. So community service defined. Community service offers support to the public. The support may be informational advice, practical help, financial help, or a combination of services. It can also be community services unpaid work performed by a person or group of people for the benefit and betterment of their community without any form of compensation. And you know, that just holds a big area out there. We'll flip to the next page. Community service report. So the community service reporting form arrives in March from the department, of course, headquarters, and is included in your consolidated post report, your CPR reports. The commander and or the adjutant receives these. If you have not received them by April 15th, you really and truly should notify your department headquarters right away. At the end of the presentation is a sample volunteer spreadsheet you can adapt to log your monthly post activities. Next page, which will be your community service application narrative. This is so important. This is so important. And this application is not just used for your CPR reports. You know, if you use this community service application monthly, just do it monthly. When it comes down to the end of the year there for your CPR reports, you have everything in front of you. And it's also good for me. So when you're doing your community service awards, and we put this out every year, and we got, you know, we have all these posts throughout Colorado, and we only get back 5, 6, 7 of these applications. This is a no-go at my station. We need more out there. We need everybody to fill this out. Every post should be filling it out. You know, when you're there's a lot of posts who do a lot of things. There's a lot of individuals in the posts, and there's a lot of individuals who do community service, and they don't want to be recognized. And you know, I get that. You know, they're doing their thing, and they believe that that's what they should be doing. But you know what? If you know somebody who's doing something, and we want to put them in for an award, a certificate, a coin, whatever the thing is, if they're not comfortable with it, give me their name and their number, and I'll call them up and I'll say, listen, you know, I know you're not really digging on being at the center of attention for whatever, but we need people to know what you did. And I will talk to that person, and if everything goes well, and that person or persons, it could be an individual person, it could be a whole post, it could be a whole district, it could be somebody at department level. We are not going to know about any of the stuff that they do unless somebody puts them in for it, and it's not that hard. Believe me, if you give me a call, I'm going to call that individual or that post or whatever, you know. And it's gonna come down to where it goes to the national level. And what I mean by the national level is, say the department is going to Congress to get funding or get help in rural Colorado or anywhere in Colorado, if they see that individuals or posts or districts are doing great things in their communities, there's a good chance that national is going to say, hey, you know, these people might need a little help down here. Let's give them a hand. But they're not going to give you a hand unless we have documentation that says that things are being done in community service. So did I say that right, Chip?
Yes, sir.
So anyway, so if you see that on your screen, log on to it, hold the button, copy it, and save it. Next page. Community service versus volunteering. Companies may pay their employees their daily wages participating in community service events where they become the volunteers. Companies may allow employees to choose charities of their choice and designate specific days throughout the year for their volunteer participation. You know, volunteer. It's kind of hard distinction between community service versus volunteering. We're all volunteers, and we all do things for community service. And once again, I'm going to say, if you know somebody is doing something, please let me know. We're running out of time. We need to get these awards in, and I am the go-to person for that. Next page. Volunteers needed. Let me ask everybody a question. Is everybody in the American Legion a volunteer?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I didn't even hear one yes there. Finally heard it. So, you know, we're all volunteers. It's what we do through community service that really makes a difference, you know. Next page. Volunteering defined. Volunteering is an act of altruism. Altruism is, and man, I can say that 3 times fast. Altruism is an activity intended to promote good or improve human quality. You know, I always thought that word was the same as dignity, but it's not. You know, when we volunteer to do something, we do it to not expect anything in return, and that's all fine and dandy. But no, we still have to recognize the people who are doing it. So, working for the benefit of others without pay. To offer assistance freely, to freely make suggestions to benefit others, to be a legionnaire, to commit to doing something without foreknowledge equals free will, service before self. So, and that's what as a you know, you don't even have to be an American Legion member. You're just doing something out of the goodness of your heart or hearts to better somebody else's life or some other organization's life, and that's what humankind is really all about, is doing something and just doing it and not expecting anything in return. Next page. Volunteering. In exchange for the receipt of certain benefits, some companies will reward nonprofits with a donation when their employees are utilized as volunteers who supporting organizations through community outreach. There it is. In exchange for the receipt of doing certain benefits. So if somebody is volunteering, a post is volunteering, a district is volunteering, we want to reward those individuals with acknowledgement that they did something. And like I say again, a lot of people don't like to be acknowledged, but let's change it up a little bit, people. Let's recognize them anyways. If any of you ever been to a national convention, it's days and days and days and days of awards. You're sitting there from the time the sun comes up until the sun goes down, and they're recognizing people for all the good things that they have done. And then it goes back to, once it reaches that level, they're going to recognize those individuals, those posts, those districts, that department of what the hard work that they're doing. And in the long run, it's going to benefit us down here in Colorado. The only way I can explain my way of thinking might be a little bit different than everybody else's. I have a fresh new way of thinking, even though I'm not the youngest member in the bunch. So imagine, if you would, your post or your district gets a grant to do whatever you're going to do. Now, at the end of the fiscal year, if you don't utilize that entire grant, then if you try to put one in for the following year, there's a good chance you're not going to get that same amount of cash back, or if any, unless you utilize it all. So what I'm trying to say is if you're volunteering or you're doing community service and it gets out there, it gets out to national level that we're doing something, there's a good chance that we're going to get help, whether it be grants for doing a community service, grants for starting, buying flags for your community. These funds are going to come from national level. And if you don't put info these, if you don't show them that we're doing something, then we're not going to get that cash for that help for doing community service and volunteering in our communities. Next page. Examples of volunteer, and this is a no-brainer, and we do this every day, somehow or other. Manning an information booth. That's this Veterans Day down here in the Valley. We recognize Veterans Day just like we always do, but this year we did it a little bit different. Usually we're just recognizing the veterans. We're recognizing their branches of service, their years of conflict that they were in. So this year down here, I changed it up a bit. And I said, you know what, guys? We have all these veterans at these different facilities for Veterans Day. What a better time to put out your little American Legion booth with information on that booth, why you should belong, have your membership cards out there, have your VSO out there with a booth right next to you for those veterans who've been just walking around and not realizing that they may have compensation coming back to them. And so that's what I did this year down here for District 1. And it was pretty successful. We picked up some members. We had veterans who, during the Vietnam War time frame, who went to try to do their claims. And, it was a slow process. And they were going through a lot coming back. They weren't being treated properly. So they kind of gave up on the whole thing. But us being out there, being the American Legion, saying, we can do something for you, and having that the veteran service officer right there with me, that stuff went big. I picked up 2 new members that way. And I even said to them, I said, you know what? If you come up with $20, I'll pay your other $20. Just to get them in there. They had no idea that the system is working better now than it was back, 52, 53, 54 years ago when they were all coming back. So that's the informational booth is a big thing. And, and the first thing you say, it doesn't matter if it's a male or a female, what age they are when they walk up to your booth. How you doing? I'm such and such. Are you a veteran? And not all veterans that are at them functions, but some of them will say, no, but my father is, or my brother is, or my sister is. And you know what? That's why we're there. We're there to help veterans and their families. All right. Let me see some other examples of volunteering. Helping at the VA. Running your own nonprofit. I run my own nonprofit here. Develop a community-based event. We can be out there. You don't even have to wear your caps if you don't want. You can help out with the Easter egg hunts, scavenger hunts. We do trunk and treats now. That's like the new thing. Carnival Days is always a good place to make a little extra money for your post. Next page, please. Make a monthly volunteer report. I highly stress this. And it's really not that hard. It's at the end of the year when you're doing your CPR reports, it all goes hand in hand. And so if you can do a little monthly report, put it on a piece of paper on that form there, at the end of the year when you're starting to fill out all your reports, you don't have to think, oh, what did such and such do? How many hours did they put in? Oh, what was the name of that place where we did it at? You'll have it right there on a piece of paper in front of you. It's a no-brainer. It's really not that hard. If somebody needs help filling one out, and I'm there to help you out. I don't care what district you're in. So making a monthly volunteer report. So on the next page, which we'll be going to in a second, is a sample of volunteer report you can use in your post meeting. Ask your members to fill in the event, the hours, the number of people who participated, and the dollars that you spent, if you spent any. Then compile all that data into an Excel sheet, if you're computer literate. If not, then you can just put that right on a piece of paper. It's really not that hard. You just print it so we can read it. At the end of the year, copy your totals onto your consolidated post reports, which is what I've been talking about, and submit it to the department headquarters. Why is this important? The results are compiled at national and are given to the national commander, where he gives his report to Congress and talks about all the amazing things we are doing here in our communities in Colorado. And that's what I've been stressing from the very beginning of this presentation I'm doing. It's so important that we recognize volunteers, we recognize community service, because by the time it hits up there at the national level, there's a good chance that something's going to fall back down to us here in Colorado. There's a very good chance. And so next page, please. So this is another page that you're going to want to press on and save, and then you can print them out, and you can make a whole bunch of them, you can use them. If you're getting together, I carry one of these in all three of my vehicles, to include the motorcycle. So if I'm out doing something, if a post or a district asks me if I would mind participating in whatever they're doing, I say sure. And at the end, I take 5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes, if that. I fill it out. I give it to that individual. I say, save this and use this at the end of the year for your consolidated reports. And they don't even have to do the writing. I'll do it for them. It's really that easy. So that really runs about what my whole presentation was about. So what I want to know is what is each of the posts or the districts doing for community service? Because maybe something you're doing at your community service, who's ever on the phone right now, might help us out with doing community service down here. We're always looking for fresh ideas, trying to get new ideas of doing things. So if there's anybody on right now that can give me an idea of what you're doing where you are, I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to carry that information throughout to my districts 1 and my districts 8. So the floor is open.
Well, Richard, we got one comment online. It's where are these the forms located? You mentioned the site. I can't remember which site you said.
Oh God, no! The forms just came up. They were on you flipped them over. The sample monthly volunteer report.
Yeah, where is that?
And yep, you got that one. And then the other form is the community service application and narrative. You got that one. That was like the number 6 on your page.
Okay.
So number 13 on your page and number 6 on your page.
All right.
Got them?
Let me try and find that. I'll check the national site first.
It should have been. I had 13 pages altogether.
Yep.
So it would have been page 6 and page 13.
Yeah, but you said you got it off of a website. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh no, I did not get it off a website. I got it from Annette. Annette gave them to me.
Okay.
Yeah. So you said something about pressing and saving. I don't know how to do that.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, so during the presentation, when you seen the pages that Chip was flipping?
Yeah, I saw them.
All right, so save the sample monthly volunteer report and save the community service application and narrative.
Okay, I'll find them. I know Annette grabbed them from one of our websites. I just need to figure out which one, and then that way they can download them and save them.
See, you know what I think a lot of people don't realize, and I keep stressing that I don't want to sound like, this guy, he keeps saying the same thing over and over and over. But when we fill out all these papers to include the CPR reports and everything like that, it needs to be seen at the national level, because that's how we're going to get our help down here in Colorado. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. They think it's just a piece of paper or whatever. But you know, if you're doing something in your community, say, oh, I give you an example. So your community needs all new flags for the whole town of Eads, for example. Say 130 flags posted down the whole length of Eads. Well, if Eads doesn't have enough money in it, so now they're going to have to, if they do everything that they do, they have a dinner or whatever, and they don't have enough money for that, they might want to get a little help. And how do we get a little bit of help? Is by putting all these reports and everything in and say, hey, let's National will hopefully give, maybe they will send a grant down to the Lower Arkansas Valley or whatever for X amount of dollars for doing flag distribution or whatever. I believe that's how it works. Am I correct?
Yeah, that I'm not certain of. I'm sorry. I'm looking on our website, and we don't have those forms. That's, at least I can't find them. I will figure out.
I know something. I'll make a couple copies. I'll send you a hard. No, I'll just email them to you.
Well, Annette got it from somewhere, so I just need to figure out where that is.
Yeah, and if it's in an Excel file, getting the Excel file would be great.
Yep.
And a different question I have is, like, if folks are members of boards, like, you know, we got a member in our post who's on the Prevention Suicide Board here in Steamboat, do those hours count?
Absolutely.
Anytime you do something for an individual, a post, an organization, heck yeah, that stuff, yeah.
Thank you.
That all counts. Any other questions? You got anything for me, Commander?
I don't. That's a great job, Richard. Lots of good input in there. We'll get those. We'll find out where those forms came from, and we'll just go from there. I know Annette helped you with that, and she got them from somewhere. I know she didn't just invent that, so not a problem, right. Richard.
I just want to tell everybody that this is all new to me. I'm digging on it every day. I learn something new, and I'll get way, way better at it. I can promise you that. I don't take on anything that I can't do, and I'm always there. You know, if I have a question, I'm not embarrassed or shy to ask the question. So if you all just bear with me, and I'll try to be your shining star. That's all I can say.
You are one of my shining stars, Richard. I appreciate all the things you do. Thank you very much. I know you try very hard, and you're a great inspiration for a lot of other Legionnaires. Thank you.
Right on, guys. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. We're just going to roll straight over to Miss Bettina, who is signed on, and she has a presentation. We're going to start, Bettina, with 30 Days of Good Deeds or auxiliary awards.
Let's do the auxiliary awards, please, Commander.
All righty. Let me get this one up for you. Auxiliary awards. May begin.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I was asked to talk a few minutes regarding some auxiliary awards that we have. These awards that I picked are perhaps some that are not as well known, but also awards that I feel the whole American Legion family can support and bring nominations forward to your auxiliary. Next slide, please. The ones I want to focus on under three different committees. We have the Community Service Committee with the Unit Member Community Service Appreciation Award, Children and Youth Committee, Youth Hero Award, Good Deed Award, and the National Security Committee with the Salute to Service Members Award, which was formerly under the past President's Parley. Next slide, please. So the Community Service Appreciation Award is a brand new award. Our current national president, Kathy Dottersill, her focus this year is on caregivers. And the majority of our caregivers, when we think about it, are community members or our auxiliary members or Legionnaire members that help and service our veterans. The Unit Member Community Service Appreciation Award focuses on our unit members who do outstanding work in the community, but it's not geared just towards the veterans. So there could be the one member that always spearhead our community project, like a food drive. They take care of a non-veteran community member outside of their own family. They visit homebound residents, bring meals. They spend time with community members at risk. They're always the ones out there. Everybody knows who they are, but sometimes we just don't recognize them because they always do it. So there's two things we can do for these members. One, there's actually a certificate out on the national website that we could just award throughout the year. So whenever we have a unit member that does extra things within our community, we should recognize them. Then towards the end of the year, each unit should select one unit member for a national award to be considered. They should send the information to our department, to our community service representative chairman, Royce Hopper, and then that department then will select one person for Colorado to be considered at national level. So please, everybody, talk to your unit, look at your post and see which member we should recognize. I would love for us all to recognize at least one person from each unit in Colorado. Next slide, please. I really wanted to focus on the Youth Hero and Good Deed Awards. Both of these awards can be presented throughout the year to children under the age of 18. The Youth Hero Award is for a young child or a youth who demonstrates a physical act of valor. So what we need help here with, sometimes we don't know these young ones did this. So please, as a Legion family, when you see the news and you see somebody recognized, reach out to that post or unit and make sure that we give this certificate to this young person and make sure that they receive the certificate and their medal. The Good Deed Award is for a young one that donates their time and money towards a worthy cause. It could be having a lemonade stand and give all the funds to purchase gifts for other children. It could be children who help with each other in school. Things like that. Look at your media, talk to each other. If you have children, talk to your children and find out that we can recognize our young ones in our community. One that I did not put down is a brand new award that I've heard about. It's called the Youth Caregiver Certificate. If you have a youth in your post or units that is a caregiver that helps with a parent or grandparent or a sibling, please make sure and find that certificate online on the national website under our Children and Youth Program and make sure and award the certificate. There's a lot of children out there that are caregivers. Let's make sure we recognize them. And over to the next slide, please. The last one is called the Salute to Service Member Award. It's a national award that is presented each year at the National Convention. National Convention will select an enlisted personnel who's currently serving our country in all of the branches. It was formerly under the Past President's Parley Committee, but it was this year moved under the National Security. Lori Kuntz is our committee chair for the auxiliary and for the National Security Committee. And we need help and look and see who is active duty. And I really want to ask our Legionnaires to help us with that because hopefully they're members of the Legion. So if we have an outstanding service member that is a member of the Legion, let's make sure and we put in these members and see if we can get them to national for a free trip and be recognized in front of the auxiliary. This is my presentation for the awards. Are there any questions, Commander? Do you see anything?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Okay. After my second presentation, when we were traveling and did all our district visits, there were quite a few meetings over breakfast with like department, with our department president, Teresa Brandt, with the commander, Chip, my husband, Pat, our adjutant, and we just chit-chatted and kind of said, okay, what can we do towards the end of the year? Meaning the time period between Thanksgiving and Christmas, which is about 30 days. And we talked about how great of an impact this 25 patriotic days till Christmas were last year, which Terry Clinton did and was recognized as national under Americanism. So there came the idea of 30 days of good deeds. So here's a challenge to all of our Legion families. Next slide, please. How can we stay visible in our communities over these 30 days when everybody is really busy with things to do? A lot of our post families do not meet. We kind of like in this big hole, but that doesn't mean we should stop. We need to stay in our community. So what can we do? Make our events and activities fit the season. Perhaps host like a Thanksgiving meal. Include the whole family. You know, use your Sun squadrons, use your auxiliary, use your riders and the Legion. Invite your local community to participate. We all know who our go-to people are within our local community. Make sure they join us in these events. And always wear our Legion shirts. You know, we have the polos. Yes, in the winter, sometimes it's hard, you know, when it's cold outside. But, you know, if you have these little magnetic patches, make sure you can put them on your jackets. When you have an event, make sure you advertise using social media. Facebook can be a great tool. Email it out to people that you know. Create poster flyers, and hopefully get the news media involved. And just like Richard said before, document your activities. Make sure when you do these events, put them on your reports. Make sure you know how many volunteers hours you had. And do an after report. Have your local newspaper write it up so the community knows what you did. Next slide, please. So what can we do the next 30 days? So we can, like I said before, host and deliver Thanksgiving Christmas meals, have a children Christmas party, perhaps pictures of Santa, deliver thank you cards and cookies, snacks to our local first responders. Go say hi to your fire department, your sheriffs, and if you're a Legionnaire, take the applications with you for the Firefighter of the Year award and make sure they're aware of that program. Deliver Christmas cards to nursing homes. Even if we cannot go inside, make sure we remember them. So make sure and write a thank you to them, that they're not forgotten and that we're thinking of them. Create food boxes for your community members in need. Talk to people in your neighborhoods and find out who these people are. And I have a nice idea for that on the next slide down the road. Organize a food drive, a clothing drive. Sponsor Family for Christmas. A lot of our stores will have like little Christmas trees where it's easy to pick up and buy one or two gifts of your next shopping trip. See if a neighbor needs help with snow removal, hanging Christmas lights. Again, ask around in your post. See what everybody needs. There's a lot of people out there that will not directly ask for it. So find out and ask some questions. Shop local. Find out which business is veteran-owned and tell your friends. We want to make sure we keep our small business alive. They had a rough year last year. Let's make sure this Christmas season we're there for them and we say thank you. And again, if you wear your American Legion Auxiliary or Legion shirt, they know you're a veteran and then ask that question, are you a veteran? Wrap present. Check with local stores. If as a nonprofit, you can offer this service for donations. I know I have plenty of Christmas wrap in the basement. Chip would be very happy for me to get rid of it. So perhaps that's the way for me to get rid of my stash. So let's see what we can do. Go caroling in your neighborhood or in front of your local store. Again, wear our branding, right? Put our banners out there, but don't expect anything. Don't make it a membership drive. Just be there and say thank you to your community, hand out some candy canes, and have a good time. And volunteer for other organizations. If nothing is going on currently in your post, look at the animal shelter, soup kitchen, and perhaps help out. But again, wear your shirt, talk to the person next to you, and that might be the next member. You never know. And pay it forward. One of my favorite things to do is if I go through a drive-through, is just say, hey, what's the tab behind me? Add it to mine. I pay for it. And they never know who did it. You don't know who that person was, but I tell you, I had it done to me, and it makes you feel great the whole day. And the next slide is something I came up with, and I saw it online a few times too. It's a reverse Advent calendar. I was raised in Germany, and the Advent calendar is a tradition that I grew up with, where every day in December you receive a small gift, usually a piece of candy. And it helps you count down to Christmas. It helps the time go by a little bit faster. Now, how about instead of getting something, is giving this year? So find a large empty box. Most of us have gotten very used to ordering from Amazon. So we should probably have a box in our garage or in our house somewhere. Each day in December until Christmas Eve, add a food item into the box. You can just go one day to the store and pick it up, or you can go in a pantry and saying, okay, what will I probably not eat the next 30 days, and put these items in there. But really, truly, what you're hoping to do is have 24 or more items in this food box. On Christmas Day, how cool would this be to deliver this box to a family in need in your community and leave it on their doorstep, ring the doorbell and leave, and hopefully give them an extra little cheer for Christmas. Or donate to the box to your local food bank after the holidays. A lot of people right after the holidays do not have enough to eat because they had extra expenditures. They make it just through Christmas, and then there's that big gap right after Christmas for 1 week where they don't know where the next meal comes from. So this is my challenge to all of the Legion family in Colorado. Let's try to do a reverse Advent calendar. Let's see how many boxes we can fill. And I would love for you to post these on the department website and share when you do these boxes, and share them on your district and get your whole community involved. How fun would it be when we hear from other people, hey, I found a box on my front porch? And you can always put a little flyer of the American Legion with it. You never know, there might be veterans. So that's my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you, Commander.
Thank you, Bettina. That's a great presentation. And the key is 30 days of good cheer. You want to put a smile on as many people's faces as you can. I've seen it even in my community. There's a lady who likes doing that as well. She drops off gifts at people's houses and just ring and dash, and then they come out and they find a gift on their front doorstep. That's awesome stuff. She puts it on the Facebook page, and then there's a whole lot of other people that get to share and the smiling about that. So great idea. Thank you, Bettina, for that. And inspired by Terry Clinton's last year, 25 days of, what was it, 25 days of good cheer or something?
It was 25 patriotic days till Christmas.
Patriotic days for Christmas, copy. Whatever it is, however you can spread that good cheer, that's what's important. And you caught that from the theme of today's training with the suicide prevention and the mental health. You want to give somebody something good to think about rather than wrestling with the demons they got in their head. So that concludes our day's training. We did pretty good time-wise. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And I want to go through the horn here. I see President Teresa is online. Teresa, do you have any words of wisdom for the group? Can you hear me, Teresa? You're on mute. Okay, well, we'll carry on. Deb, thank you for your presentation. And again, I will echo that on Monday night at the district team meeting. Do you have anything else for us?
I do not.
Well, thank you very much. Miss Tina?
So it's been great. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I learned a lot.
Absolutely. It was a great day. And thank you for your participation. Todd Light? Okay, Richard Devlin, how about you?
Nope, I'm good, man. And you know, just as long as we just act like normal human beings in this world, which is a little messed up right now, if we just help out an individual or individuals, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. So that's all I got.
Well, I would put a flip on that, because it seems normal that everybody's being rude and crude to everybody nowadays. So let's bring back that goodwill.
Exactly. Yep. I agree with you.
Absolutely. Let's put a smile on somebody else's face. Do something good for your world, and it'll make it a better place. So with that, thank you everybody for your participation. Oh, there's Todd.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to unmute this stupid thing.
I hear you, brother.
No, I appreciate the training today, and you guys were awesome, and I look forward to trying to implement some of the stuff in post 1187.
Absolutely. We'll carry it on. Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right. With that, everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.